In today's video, we're going to learn how to properly take care of our Apple Macintosh and sign up for extended warranty. Okay, not really, but these pamphlets are pretty cool. Now, they're not the focus of today's video. I just have them on top of the package here, but we have an inbox mail time video, and in today's video, we're going to be unboxing the package. And if you haven't already noticed, this is a pretty big package, and I can't exactly fit the whole thing into frame, and it's also basically the same size as the cinema display in the back there, so it's a pretty big box, but we're going to be unboxing it, and we're going to check out what's inside. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a fun one. And we've got some wonderfully nutritious and delicious packing peanuts. So we have a plastic bag with some goodies in there, and then we have another one, more awesome cool things inside. And there it is, a metal slab with some electronics inside. So let's go ahead and change the camera angle so we can actually take a better look at this. Alright, so I'm in handheld mode, and apologies if there is any shakiness in the video, but this area isn't exactly ideal for 90s hi-fi equipment. But yes, this is a MiniDisc deck, MDS-JE330. And this is, of course, made by Sony. This is just a really cool format because it's essentially like a CD if it had the same qualities as a cassette. And here are the discs that came with the machine. Now, these are all 74-minute discs. They all are. There's no 80-minute or 60-minute, so at least they're all the same. And we've also got, now not every single one of them has them, but we've also got some cases. You take the disc and you put it in a case. So for the floor mat, that already has its own protective case, so that is really awesome to see. I'm very excited to test this out, and this will be very fun to use because this is just an awesome format. So this is surprisingly more difficult to film, and this is the best I can do, at least for now. Now again, it's not ideal, but it works, and we can actually see the display in action and then partially see the MiniDisc loading there, but we do have the machine plugged in. We have a red standby light, which is good, and let's just go ahead and power it up. And we have a no disc message right there. And immediately I'm noticing that this display is really bright. Now, I have actually seen pictures of similar models with the display being really dim, so this is a good start. The machine itself really isn't in that bad of cosmetic condition, and the front here seems to be in very good condition for its age. And it's really the top here that is the worst, but again, this will probably all clean up, so that won't be an issue. And same goes for these MiniDiscs. They are in very good condition, so I'll also clean these up as well. And now we're in the future. Yeah, surprisingly, that was 2022 when I first unboxed this guy. Crazy to think that it's already been that long, but anyways, time aside, the MiniDisc is still here. I actually haven't used it recently, but I did use it a lot, almost non-stop when I first got it. And the reason why I never finished off the video back then is because I wanted to test it in my spare time, make sure everything works. And well, I just never got around to finishing the actual video. I know I'm just unboxing it and testing it out, but yeah, this just got put on hold and well, I never finished. First off, if you actually put a disc in here, it will automatically power on. The discs all do seem to work, And by the way, they actually didn't have anything on them, but the MiniDisc player itself does work. It records. This will accept a digital as well as an analog input, but it can only output analog stereo audio. That really isn't a problem because it's not like I'm using this format for archiving when I obviously have the iTunes library right there. This is more of a format that I've just wanted to get for years at this point, and well, I actually have them now. I'm also glad that it came with the discs themselves because I didn't want to mess around with actually finding those. It was just more of a complete package deal here. And of course, it's a Sony. This was actually made in '99, so right before the turn of the millennium, and it's got that classic. It still looks modern, even though this is a design from the late '90s. I'm just a big fan of the actual hi-fi equipment, especially from this era. So we have a track loaded up. We can press play. And I'm gonna keep the volume muted because obviously copyright. We can use the dial here to go back and forth from specific tracks, and then this can skim across the tracks. Obviously we have pause, and then we also have out of frame here, we have stop. And then there's also a lot of cool features within the menu, but I won't go into detail in today's video. But we also have automatic eject, and then we can just as easily take another disc and put it in or whatever. The new millennium in my hand, even though this is a product from the 90s. It'll skim across the track like a normal CD, but because this is MiniDisc, you can write and rewrite as many times as you want, and it's also got the write protect notch on the bottom here. That's part of why I love this format. It's like a CD, but it's also like a cassette at the same time. And because this format is capable of digital audio, it's really no different compared to a standard CD. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like CDs. They are still a great format to have, but there's a certain charm to MiniDisc itself, which just makes it that much more fun to use. And by the way, I'll have some close-up shots of the VFD display here. It is still extremely vibrant and bright, and I'm glad that this is actually in perfect working condition, because like I mentioned in the past part of the video, these can definitely get worn out and be barely visible. So I know it's not a high-end deck by any means. I mean, it doesn't even output digital audio. You can only do analog. It's still a fun entry-level type of machine to use because it's a MiniDisc. And I figured I might as well mention, the audio setup that I used to have this hooked up just doesn't exist anymore. I've since taken it apart and I've moved the components around, but this might actually be its new permanent home for now if you guys want to see it integrated into the iTunes library. And even though it took this long to get this video out, I'm glad that it's finally out. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's video. Like I said, if you want to see this in action, consider subscribing because there's definitely more awesome content on the way. I can't wait to show this off again and in more detail. And the moment you press play, it'll instantly bring the music back to life. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.